Friends, let me take you into another story, one that whispers of human transformation, tender, yet profound. It is not a tale of grandeur, no. It is a simple moment, radiant with meaning. Sree Thakur Anukulchandra. He was called a doctor, yes, but in truth he was far more. He was a physician of the spirit, one who touched not only the frailties of the body, but also the hidden wounds of the heart, the silent thirst of the soul. So listen, as this moment unfolds like a lamp lit in darkness. I invite you to listen carefully. In those days, doctors visited patients only when they were called. That was the rule. But Sree Thakur, he was different. When someone in a village was seriously ill, Thakur could not rest. Even if no one had called him, even if no message had reached his ears, his heart would feel the pain. From afar, he would take his medical bag and walk past the patient's house. Once, twice, sometimes thrice, pretending to be on his way somewhere else. He hoped a relative might notice him. He hoped someone would say, "Doctor, please come in." And when no such excuse, he would walk straight into the house. He would examine the patient, give medicine, give care, and refuse any payment. The family would be astonished, embarrassed. They would try to pay him. But Thakur would only smile and say, "I just happened to pass this way." Before they could thank him properly, he would already be gone, walking down the narrow path, softly humming a song he had composed. Some doctors called him unprofessional. Some called him eccentric. But to Thakur, compassion mattered more than convention. Now listen to this. The villages of Himaipur were once plagued by robbers, men hardened by hunger and violence. Yet Thakur was never harmed. When he traveled, villagers often gave him rice or vegetables instead of money. And if he met robbers on the road, he offered that food freely. Strangely moved, they let him pass unharmed. One cold winter night in 1913, after tending to a villager beaten by bandits, Thakur's mind grew heavy. He thought to himself, diseases of the body are not the worst. It is the sickness of the mind, the sickness of the soul, that destroys the purpose of the Supreme Father. Lost in thought, without any plan, he wandered into the jungle. After walking for half an hour, he saw firelight flickering among the trees. 6 men jumped to their feet. Knives flashed, suspicion filled the air, but Thakur bowed gently and said, "Good evening. May I rest by your fire?" He sat calmly and began speaking of the stars above, of the forest at night, of how the soul's true home lies close to nature. Slowly the tension eased. Knives were lowered. Silence softened. Then suddenly Thakur lifted his head and began to sing. A hymn to the Creator. His voice rose clear and vibrant, flowing like starlight through the trees. One old thief began slapping his thighs in rhythm. Slap! Another hummed. Soon others joined. Clapping, swaying, and then Thakur danced. His body moved like leaves in the breeze, like grass bending in the wind. He leapt, swirled, stretched toward the treetops, as if teasing gravity itself. The robbers stared in wonder. Then they laughed, then they rose. And soon all of them were dancing. Forgetting fear, forgetting crime, remembering joy. For more than an hour they danced together. When the dance ended, Thakur turned to the gray-bearded elder and asked gently, "You are a musician?" The old man smiled faintly. "In my youth I played the drums. I am rusty now. It has been a long time since I thought of such things, and longer still since I saw the kirtan danced." Thakur leaned forward, curious. "Was that the kirtan?" The old man laughed. "Of course it was the kirtan. Don't you even know what you were doing?" Then he grew serious. "The drums are very important. Without them, the dance cannot be held properly. The cymbals run ahead, urging the dancer wider and higher, but the drums are the heartbeat. Without them, a man could explode in the kirtan." Thakur listened with deep reverence. A few nights later, he returned with drums and cymbals and placed them in the old man's hands. Tears filled the elder's eyes as he struck the rhythm once more. From that day on, life changed. Sree Thakur Anukulchandra. By day, he healed bodies with herbs. By night, he healed minds with song and dance. The gatherings grew. 10 men, then 50, then 100, until the kirtan became a festival of transformation. And when the dancing continued even without him, Thakur was content. He took new drums and cymbals, slung them over his shoulder, and walked in another direction. To awaken, to heal, another band, another soul, another path. This is where the ways of Sree Thakur Anukulchandra become clear. He did not rely on sermons or moral lectures. He did not speak of virtue and sin, heaven and hell, or fear of law and punishment. Instead, he reached people through compassion, by touching the part of the human soul that remains sensitive even when life has made it hard. A civilized society often believes that only law-abiding people need protection from crime. This story reminds us that those who commit crimes also need to be rescued. From the grip of circumstances, they are often unable to escape on their own. It reflects the principle, hate the sin, not the sinner. This is true reform. Punishment alone cannot heal or transform. And who could understand this more deeply? Who could show this path more clearly than the Master Fulfiller himself?